But the Volkanovski versus Brian Ortega fight, holy shit, there was some moments in there. The score does not reflect the fight that took place.
Before we get started with the main card, with the main event, I want to say one thing, because I never do this, and look, I know I went on the tangent with Nick Diaz and with Robbie and everything else, but I want to say this, because I never give this guy credit. Herb Dean, great job tonight.
Oh, I was going to talk about that.
Fucking job. Great job. I thought when there was moments there, the doctor was trying to figure out a way to stop the fight. And Brian Ortega goes, I can see. He just walked away. He can see, let's fight. And it was perfect.
Herb did a good job of taking over the situation, because the fighter responds to him, but doesn't respond to the ringside physician, which means the ringside physician is thinking about stopping the fight. Herb did a nice job of getting the attention of the fighter, having the fighter converse with him, getting the information that he needed, and allowing the fight to continue. So it was a good job by Herb.
Great job.
Yeah.
And I don't
good job. Wait, I'm glad you gave credit where credit is due there, Josh.
I do almost all the time. But with Herb and I have had some problems in our fights before, because he's repped a couple of my cage grabs, fingers in the cuts, those kind of things. But look, I know he's a good ref. I do give him credit. I know he's a good ref, but I like to pick at him more than I like to give him credit. Tonight, though, I had to give him credit, because that fight, if he would have given it a couple seconds for the doctor to make the decision, we wouldn't have seen the end of that fight. And it was a great fight after the fact. After that had happened,
round,
it was still a great fight. You know, so it was a great job by her.
Good a round as Merab against Marlon was. This one, probably was better. It was crazy. Amazing,
insane,
crazy,
absolutely insane. All right, so let's get into the fight.
Overall, like I said, it was a great fight. The score does not reflect the actual fight. It was so close in a lot of the rounds. I mean, I can understand why, someone could have given Brian the first round if they wanted, but I would have gone probably Volkanovski, but I was more of a Brian homie. Let's just say it that way, because I knew you were going with Volkanovski, because you said you can't go against him anymore. But the third round,
I won't go against Usman either. By the way,
you just gotta go. You gotta go to the third round, because that third round, man, if you are not an Alexander Volkanovski fan, you have got to be after that round, because let me tell you something. That was tight. You saw him kicking his legs on that topside guillotine. He was doing everything. And let's go back. We're talking about Merab. Merab had that same situation with Ricky Simon, if you remember, and he went out and kind of came back, and then went out and then kind of came back, and there was the whole thing. And you saw Volkanovski in that position. You go, oh, he is in such trouble. I was like, oh my God, he's going to get him. Oh my God, he's going to get him. And he got out. And then he went to a triangle. That triangle was tight. At first it wasn't, but when he sat to his butt, I was like, oh, you might have him, but no. And then he came back and put a whooping on him. What a round. Unbelievable.
John, so the first two rounds I had Volk winning. I had Volk winning both rounds.
Yeah.
First round I could see it being close, and I wouldn't have cared either way how the round would have went. But I had Volk.
Second round was definitely Volk.
Yeah, second round was definitely Volk. I mean, they almost stopped it after the second round, in terms of then going to the third. I'm going to be, and look, and people maybe think that I didn't like, because I said Volk was going to win the fight. I was like, hey, I can't go against Volk. I have never in my life, and I've been doing this a long damn time, people, okay? I've never in my life seen an athlete, when people talked about Brian Ortega's grappling, I knew it was good. I've never seen an athlete slap on a submission that damn fast and have that much threat that quick. Woo. He made me a believer in less than 1 second.
How tight it was.
In less than 1 second, I was a fucking believer. And here's the thing. You guys at home, it's one thing to do that to your brother and your sister, like the white belt and blue belt in class. It's another thing to do it to fucking the world champion, the way he did it that quick, that fast. And when I was on the fight companion with him, and we were talking, because we were having a conversation about him being able to submit Khabib, and I was like, yeah, that ain't happening. But that right there, that made me, I still don't believe he can submit Khabib before I get into this conversation. But that right there, though, that made me realize how dangerous he really was, because we haven't seen that from him forever. Like, we've seen him knock out, guys. We've seen him like stand and bang. We've seen him. He's got a great chin.
Yeah,
he's not out.
I want to say the last submission I can remember, and I could be wrong, but I think it was Cub Swanson when he got the guillotine on Cub. That's the last one I can remember Brian getting. I may be wrong, but that's the one I remember.
Yeah, Dave, can you pull that up? I mean, I know you're lagging a little bit because you're a little slow, but yeah. He's taking notes. He's like, hey, I got timestamps. I get it.
And then he pulls up Volkanovski.
Yeah. He doesn't even pull up Brian. Great job, buddy. Great job. I can see he's following along. Oh man, people wonder why I give him a hard time. This is so easy. So easy. Just go down to his last submission, because that's what we were talking about.
Yeah,
it was Cub Swanson. Yeah.
Cub Swanson.
Yeah. Good job, Dave. Podcast Dave. Right on task. I love me some Podcast Dave though. That's the thing, is we don't see it as much as we could. If I saw him get the takedown, I saw him get on top. If I saw his ground up, I saw people. He was attacking submission after submission. We got put his back. That choke, that triangle choke. I was yelling in the bar. I was like, "Oh, here comes T City! Like, here comes Triangle City!" I was thinking, like, "Oh my god!" It wasn't there. It snuck out. It seemed very, very tight though.
Well, hold on. When he first locked it up, when he first got it, it was like, you don't have that.
Nah.
And you saw the posture of Volkanovski start to actually beat it. Then you saw Brian adjust it, and that pulled Volkanovski in, and he had it. And I was like, oh, he just locked it up. And you saw the look on Volkanovski's face and I was like,
yeah,
he ain't going to give in. He's got to go out, man. He's definitely not going to tap. And I was like, all of a sudden I got to the point, I go, he's going to beat this. And all of a sudden he's busting out of it. And
gassed.
Like, man, what a stud.
It was
that was one of the greatest rounds I think I've ever seen.
Yep. If we want to talk rounds, I talk like Nick Diaz, Paul Daly.
Yep.
I talk this round. I know there's some other rounds. I mean, but I would say probably somewhere in one of those. I want to say it was round 3 with Weili Zhang and Joanna. I think it was round 3. But there's been a lot of really good rounds. I have to sit down and write these fucking rounds down, because this is driving me crazy right now. This is absolutely amazing. Like, there's so many damn good rounds.
That one was great.
But that was a great round. And then, and you saw just Volk just start coming on. You know what really was crazy by me I was just flabbergasted by. Volk was pushing the pace in the 4th round. He came out and was pushing the pace in the 5th. But
5th round, he lost.
Halfway through the 5th round, he just was like, I'm gassed.
Yes.
He went from like...
And Brian all of a sudden got energy.
He was the Energizer Bunny until about 2 minutes into the 5th round. And all of a sudden he was like...
I could not believe after those submission attempts, the energy that he had, that he was hitting with, because that you're not breathing.
No, I know.
And your heart rate is high and all the things that are happening. And then you go from one submission attempt where you're not breathing to another one where you're not really breathing.
Yeah.
And then unbelievable. Just fantastic. Loved it. What a performance by Volkanovski. What a performance by Brian Ortega, man. He's got nothing to feel bad about. I know it didn't end the way, he would, would have liked it to have ended, but god damn it. He showed heart. He fucking stayed in there. There was moments in his mind. He's like, I don't want to be in here anymore. And he just said, no, I'm coming back out. Came back out, put on one hell of a performance.
Absolute great performance by both fighters. Like, Brian just stole me in the 3rd round. The way he slapped on submission after submission real quick. And then he also threatened a little bit in the beginning of the 4th, after basically almost being like told that the fight was going to be stopped. That whole situation. Like, he's fucking great. Great, phenomenal job by both fighters.
100% agree. Okay.